So yeah, ribs in the Instant Pot. Crowd pleaser and super easy to do. Doesn't require much effort, very little time, honestly, and it is sure to wow people. This is the dish that I tell people to make when they first get their Instant Pot to like win over their spouses because this is the dish that makes you kind of look like a rock star. But anyway, all you need is a rack of ribs. I have chosen a pork loin rack. You can use beef. I think pork is better, just FYI, my own personal preference. But again, that's a preference. You need a cup of liquid. The liquid is also a personal preference. I am using apple cider vinegar. You can use just a cup of water. You can use a cup of beef broth. You can use a cup of apple juice. I like the vinegary kind of pungentness. Even though I live in Tennessee and I'm from Tennessee, I happen to like North Carolina barbecue too. So anyway, I'm using apple cider vinegar, but you don't have to use that. All you need is a cup of liquid. This is just a method of cooking ribs. You need a rack, a cup of liquid. I like to have just a couple dashes of liquid smoke that I put in my liquid to give it the smoky flavor like you'd had it on the grill. And then you need a barbecue sauce, any kind you want. You can do a dry rub, you can do a wet rub, you can do, Sweet Baby Ray's. I'm using a special barbecue sauce that I've been saving to use. But this is it. This is all the ingredients you need. A rack of ribs, a cup of some kind of liquid, a couple drops of liquid smoke, and barbecue sauce. Or if you don't want to use a wet sauce, you can use a dry rub. Easy. Now, let's show you how we do this. So I'm a big fan of less mess. So I put me some wax paper down on my counter, and I put my rack of ribs out. I put it on a paper towel just to kind of dry it off because you want to blot it dry. The trickiest part of ribs, in my opinion, because I'm not an expert, is removing this little membrane right here. You got to pull this off. Now, if you don't pull it off, you can still cook it, but it's going to be kind of tough and people have to eat around it. It's not really pleasant. So you definitely want to remove this membrane right here. See this? Okay, I've already started pulling it. You can't pull it with your bare hands. At least I can't. I always have to hold it with a paper towel because it slips so easy. But once you get, it's kind of tricky. I use my knife. I kind of get in there and I pry it up. And then once I do that, I grab a hold of it with my thing and I start pulling. And you can start pulling it and it will go all the way over. I need both hands to do this because I can't hold my video camera and this. But all you do is, use your left hand. I'm right-handed. Put your other hand right here, hold on to it, and then just yank. Just yank it across. And it will come right off. But I'm not talented enough to do that with one hand, so I'm going to put you down for a moment. And this is all you have to do to prep the actual meat. See this membrane? I've just pulled it. I'm going to keep pulling it, but I do need to hold the meat down. But I just want you to see it really comes off. Once you can get it going, it comes off super easy. It's not hard. It's just a little tricky to get it going sometimes. Okay, the membrane has been removed, and I'm ready to do something with this. Here's where you can go with your personal preference again. I like a wet barbecue sauce, but if you wanted to do a dry rub and then do wet after, you certainly can. This is how would you prefer your ribs to be? If you wanted to do a dry rub, you'd use ever how much you want, and you would coat the meat right now, both sides, coat it up real good. I don't like that personally. I'll eat it, but I prefer a wet marinade. So I just put I've got about a third of a cup here. Sometimes you can do about a fourth of a cup, no big deal. But I just kind of cover it up real good, both sides. And I'm using a special barbecue sauce, something real special I've been saving. My husband took me to the Chef and the Farmer in Kinston, North Carolina when I was visiting a while back. And in the gift shop, Vivian Howard had some of her blueberry barbecue sauce. And I was dying to try it. And it's fantastic. It's so good. It's sweet and it's vinegary. And that's what I'm using. I'm using blueberry barbecue sauce, believe it or not. But literally, you can use anything. You can use, Casey Masterpiece. Everybody loves Sweet Baby Ray's. You very rarely can go wrong with Sweet Baby Ray's. I like the hickory brown sugar one myself, but whatever you prefer. Or again, you can use a dry rub, but you just want to coat it real good, okay? I do both sides really good and nice and liberal. This is why I have my wax paper here, because I don't like messes. I prefer to keep the mess down to a minimum. Anyway, we're going to cover this up real good. So my ribs are basted liberally, and I used a silicone basting brush so that way I can just pop it in the dishwasher, because I'm super lazy when it comes to cleanup, but I like things to be clean. Anyway, if you're interested, I don't know if you can order this online or what, but if you're ever in Kinston, North Carolina, stop by the Chef and the Farmer, because this is incredible. But again, you can use dry rub here, you can salt, pepper, however you want to season this, your preference. Now, for the actual pot, what you want to do is put your trivet in, okay? Whatever trivet came with your thing. I have the Ultra, so mine came with the one that has handles, but most of them don't have handles. They're just a regular trivet. You don't need the handles. So you're going to put in your cup of liquid, okay? All right, whatever liquid you wanted to use. I opted for a cup of apple cider vinegar, but again, you can use water, broth, whatever. And then to that cup of liquid, I'm going to add about 2 drops of liquid smoke. Trust me when I tell you, you don't want to do more than that. Liquid smoke is strong, super, super strong. So it can be overpowering if you use too much. All right, so that's all prepped. All I've got to do is put my ribs in here. Okay, so all I did was put my ribs on its side and I wrapped them in the pot. See how much room is left over? You could possibly fit 2 more racks. Definitely 1 more rack. But you could possibly fit 2 more racks in here depending on how big your racks are. Beef racks are typically bigger, so they don't fit as much. But the pork racks are smaller like this, but that's totally up to you. It's I don't have that many people to feed tonight, so I'm just doing 1 rack. But if you wanted to add another rack, it wouldn't change anything else. But see how you just put it up on its side, okay? Just coil it around. And if you had another rack, you would just keep coiling it, you know? Just roll it up in there on its side. Okay, well, the only thing left to do is to make sure that you don't have any debris on the side of your pot, which I do. Make sure that your lip is cleaned off here. And then make sure that your sealing ring inside is properly seated in the guard. Mine is, I already checked it. So now all we're going to do is pop our lid on. I have the Ultra, it seals automatically, but if whatever pressure cooker you have, you want to make sure that your valve is set to sealing or airtight right now. Mine does it automatically, which is nice. So you're going to go to high pressure or manual, whatever your thing calls, but you're going to pressure cook it on high for 30 minutes. And then you just press start. And it won't take long to come to pressure because there's very, very little liquid in there. I'm going to guess probably 5 minutes, possibly less to come to pressure. But it's going to cook for 30 minutes and then I'm going to let it naturally release for 10 minutes before I release the steam. So a total time here of say 40-45 minutes with coming to pressure. Okay, so it's done cooking and it's keeping warm. It's been keeping warm for 2 minutes now. I want it to keep warm for 10 minutes before I release the pressure. So I'm going to wait for that to get to 10 and then I'm going to quick release the rest of the steam off of this thing. In the meantime, what I've done is I've set my broiler on my oven to high and I'm preheating it right now because you want a good preheat on this. And then I've taken me a baking sheet pan. I've lined it with foil because, again, I like easy cleanup. And I have put down my broiler sheets here. So when that Mama Jam gets done, I'm going to quick release it. I'm going to transfer the ribs over to this pan. I'm going to baste it with some more of my sauce, ever how much you want. I like my sauce to be pretty liberal. And then I'm going to stick it under the broiler for just a few minutes. All right, it's been naturally releasing for 10 minutes, so I'm done with this now. I'm going to cancel it. I'm going to get my little snorkel, put that over my valve, save my cabinets. And I'm going to quick release the rest of the pressure. See how my pen is still up, so there's still pressure in there. Oh my gosh, I wish you could smell this. Smells like barbecue. Love it. So I'll just wait for this to finish, and then we'll get it out. This thing is done. It's not making any noise. It's done. My pen's not falling down, so I'm just going to lightly touch it. Hey, there it goes. Now, the tricky part for this is going to be getting this out of the pot because it is going to want to fall apart. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Let's see what I need to get this out in one piece. All right, I tried really hard to get it in one piece. I just can't. It's just too good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to base it with some more of my sauce. I'm going to be real liberal. Now, if you had done a dry rub earlier and you wanted to do a wet rub, now would be the time to do that, okay? So what I'm going to do is coat this up real good, and then I'm going to stick it under the broiler on high for 5 minutes. Okay, I've basted this. I basted this very liberally because I can. Now I'm going to stick my ribs into my preheated broiler on high. And I'm going to let it go for 5 minutes, and then they'll be done. That's all there is to it. All right, my timer's going off. It's sizzling, I can hear it. Oh gosh, I'm telling y'all, this is the wow dish. This is the dish that people make for people that have never used the Instapot and think it's all fad. And then they have the ribs and they're like, holy cow, this is legit, the real deal Holyfield. Oh, so good. Let's plate it up. So here are the ribs. Oh my gosh, I wish y'all could smell this. It's incredible. You know, you can pair ribs with just about anything. I did rice and I did a glazed carrot. Both items I did in my Instant Pot. I did my rice earlier. It's basmati rice. I did that earlier and set it to the side because it takes, you know, less than half an hour to do. And then the glazed carrots, that's the first time I ever did glazed carrots in the pot. That took like 4 minutes from start to finish. I'm not even kidding. But my 3-year-old picked my side items tonight. She was fine with ribs, she said, but she wanted rice and carrots. So that's my sides. And I'm serving it with a little bit extra of my sauce. Oh my gosh, this is so good. Let's just dig in. Yeah, you don't really even have to use your hands for this. I mean, it literally just falls apart. I mean, it falls apart. It's so good. I'm not even kidding you. I'm telling you, this is the crowd pleaser. This is the one where people think pressure cooking is all about soups and stews and you have to have a lot of liquid. But no, you can make fantastic, I dare say, rival any kind of grilled ribs you've ever had in the Instant Pot. It's so good. And my blueberry barbecue sauce is awesome, by the way. But any barbecue sauce would be good on this because the method is the same. The ingredients are transferable. Anyway, enjoy it. I'm gonna chow down because it's delicious. I'm not even lying. It's delicious. FYI, I cleaned that bone simply by eating it with a fork. I didn't even have to chew it off the bone. It's so tender, it literally just fell right off. The whole thing's like that. Yeah, this is awesome.